Hi everyone, it's Heidi here. I'm Heidi Smith and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the Midlands in the United Kingdom. And today's project is a super little treat box to fit some mini eggs. And they're actually sized to fit these Dairy Milk Dime eggs. Now, they will obviously fit the mini cream eggs as well, but those are, as you can see, a bit smaller. But they have been designed, this has been designed to fit 6 of those. So as you can see, just 6 of those in there. And I'm using a couple of products that you can get in Celebration at the moment. And Celebration is when you spend £45 or multiples of 45 and you get free stuff. And one of the free things that you can get for £45 is this lovely lily pad stamp set. There are dies available as well for a £90 spend, but the beautiful thing about this is they're super shapes that you can cut out by hand if you wanted to. If you just got that first level reward, that's what you could get. So we're using lovely lily pad. We're also using another item which is available at the moment from the mini catalogue, which coordinates beautifully, which is this lovely lily paper. Beautiful double-sided paper, lovely strong images with a floral lily images on the front and a solid on the back. As you can see, some gorgeous pretty peacock colours in there and calypso coral. Bermuda Bay as well, flirty flamingo colours in there. Yeah, a lovely, again, another design here. So there's the whole pack available, or if you wanted to join my team, you could actually get some a special pack of paper and the mini guillotine as well. So I'll pop the details of that on my blog so that you can have a look. But there's a couple of ways, and that gives you a sampler pack of paper, which I have put to one side and can't find right this moment, having found it this morning. Anyway, let's get on with the project. These little mini tiny binder clips are in the main catalogue. These are in the Sia Silhouette design, and you get white, gold and silver, I think it is, but you certainly get white and silver and like a stainless steel colour. So lovely little pack, really useful. You could pop all sorts of treats in there, and I've deliberately kept it openable at one end, but obviously you could seal that if you wanted to. So let's crack on. So first of all, you're going to need some cardstock, and this is 16.5 by 16 centimetres that you need. So you are going to have to cut right on that little on that little line there, but on the new trimmer it is really easy. So we go to 16.5 first, just trim that, and then by 16, like so. Then on the long edge, that's our 16.5 edge, we are going to score at, over on the right hand side here, just pop that down there so you can see it, so at 1 and at 3, then swivel it round and score at 13.5 and 15.5, that's just before the crease. And then on the shorter edge you're going to again score at 1, but this time at 3.5, so that's still on the right hand side here at 3.5, then at 8.5 and at 11. I will pop the measurements in inches onto my blog as well, so if you're across the pond or you're still working in Imperial, I'll get those measurements for you as well. So that's the scoring done for that. I'm then going to create my layers now while we're doing it, and I'm going to use a bit of Coastal Cabana, and we want a piece that's 10 by 4.5. And then 2 pieces that are 10 by 2 centimetres. So I've got one there already, and then I'll just cut a second one. Two by 2. Okay. So there we go. And then some designer series paper. I've got one of the 6 by 6 inch pieces here. You're going to cut that at, first of all, at 9.5, and just check which way you want your pattern to be. So I'm cutting it at 9.5 with my pattern going up and down, and then I'm going to cut a piece at 4 centimetres for the front, and then at 1.5 twice. So again, still leaves you with a couple of nice pieces for making a card. Look at that, great accent pieces. So you're going to get a lot of use out of that. Okay, so now bring back in our piece of card, and what you're going to want is a ruler and a scoring tool, an embossing tool rather, and we're going to just mark some triangles here. You don't have to be precise, you don't have to measure them massively equally. All I'm doing is just roughly marking the middle and then scoring a triangle and up the middle. Say you can do this more precisely if you want, but you know, they're only sort of you don't even really need to kind of score. It just helps because it's being made out of card to do that, just to help the card fold in a bit. So that's all your scoring. Now while it's flat, we're going to add our card layers, and that's just to make it easier for you. What I would suggest is you just give those a bit of a crease, and what you want is for the join to be underneath. So decide whether you want that at the top or the bottom. I usually have it at the top, so this is going to be my front panel. And then just using your chosen adhesive, I'm waiting for my snail to arrive at the moment, so I'm using up my fast fuse, and just add your layer of card. I love Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay together, they're a really pretty combination. And this paper is lovely with the kind of flirty flamingo accents. You can see you've kind of really got the shades of colour in there already. And just add your card onto here. And again. Obviously if you have wet glue, that's fine. You might just prefer to leave it to one side while it dries. Which won't take a moment. So there we go. So what you could do is while you're waiting for it to dry, you could then do your stamping. But mine's not a wet glue, so we're good to go. So I'm going to carry on with my box construction. And as you know, many of you who watch me, I tend to use my red tape for my box construction. Makes life a bit, I just find it really, really works. And you want to add your red tape all along this edge. I'm not doing any trimming. And you're going to, and then decide which of the edges you want to keep closed. I'm going to take this edge here, so just to give me a bit more. And again, I'm actually going to put it all the way along here. It makes it a little bit bulkier, but it does just avoid having any fiddly little bits that you're cutting in and out. And it means it folds together really well and holds. All I'm going to do is just quickly reinforce those score lines before I fold it up. So all I'm doing, I'm not even reinforcing with my bone folder this time. I'm just gently creasing with my fingers. So these bits are going to go in like so. Okay. And this is actually kind of came about because I was looking at one of my old projects that I did, which I might have another look at, see if I can make a bigger version of it, which is a little sort of favour to fit a Ferrero, one of my Ferrero Friday projects. So once you're all glued, just whip that red tape off, and if you fold nice and flat, that'll line up for you. and then take your other piece of red tape off. And all you need to do is just push that in together and pinch closed. There we go. You'll see just, you know, it closes well. I say the glue adds a little tiny bit of bulk, but because it's meant to stay closed, you're absolutely fine. Okie doke. So next we're going to do some stamping, and I've just got a scrap of Whisper White cardstock, and onto that we're going to use our Memento ink and the lovely lily, and I'm actually going to stamp my flower twice. So flower, and then my leaf image. Now with the leaf image you could obviously flip the stamp over if you wanted to. Let me show you that. And rather than colouring it, I did need to clean that first, that would help, otherwise it won't stick. I'm just going to give that a bit of a wipe. Flip that over, and then if I use actually I'll use a bit of Mossy Meadow because I've used Mossy Meadow for the others. It's actually Garden Green that's in that, but Mossy Meadow will work just as well. And ink up the reverse of the stamp. And then if you just pop that on there, you can see you've actually got that coloured in very quickly and easily. You can use the same technique on your flowers as well. It's not an exact match, but it does give you a little bit of overlap. But I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends, and the reason for that is I've got Floaty Flamingo, and I just think to me it's a classic classic lily. So one of these I'm just going to colour the centre, the other one I'm just going to colour the outer leaves. So I'm starting with this one, and as you can see this is my centre one. I'm just going to add on all these sort of central leaves some of the light Flirty Flamingo. I'm not going right to the tip because the classic lily, so the lilies that I see are often, you know, sort of really quite varied, so sort of deeper at the base and then going to sort of white on the tips. So that was the effect that I wanted to get. So again, just colouring in the very bottom there, like so. I should have done my outer ones on here. Again, just colouring in, and I'm adding just a hint of colour to those outer leaves, because if you just see them, that, but it's these real sort of outer ones I want, because the central part is going to be covered up. So there is no point in colouring something that's going to be covered up. Save yourself the time. So it's just these outer leaves on the bottom here. And then we're going to come in with our light to do that blending. So just where those two colours join, go over, and that will help, that will give your blend and just soften any hard lines that you might have. And just add a little bit of colour as and where you want. So the same here. So I'm just coming across, and so in effect you get 3 shades of colour all right from the start. Now there is a die for the lily leaf, but I'm just showing you, you know, what you can do without the die. You know, sometimes we haven't always got the die, or you know, with Celebration rewards you perhaps haven't quite spent enough to get that level 2 reward, that's sort of £90 spend. So let's just, you know, let's just focus on what we can do with a pair of scissors and a bit of fussy cutting. So we're going to quickly fussy cut these flowers out. Like so. And again, fussy cutting, you know, you can do as much. I mean, this one lends itself to the kind of decoupage of layers, but you can do as many or as few layers. I've just stuck to 2 for this one. It's a little treat box. It's, you know, perhaps not going to be kept, in my case, for for very long. And now obviously if you could use this for a piece of jewellery, you know, a bit of tissue paper, and pop some jewellery in there. That would be absolutely beautiful for somebody. They'd be very lucky to receive it. As I was just playing around. It was an excuse to go and buy the eggs, and because they're different sizes, I do like to kind of play around and see what size, what the difference in sizes is between these, because you know, obviously some of you are watching from abroad and you can't necessarily get the exact same things, so you don't need to, you know, go with what you've got locally, you know, and I'll have a look and see if I might even resize it for a Ferrero Friday project. How about that? I have to say, it's been great to have so much feedback on my Ferrero Friday projects again. They are a popular treat box. And I think because they come in so many different sizes, you can really add them whenever you want. So, what's left to do is to shape these and layer them up. Shaping. All I'm going to do is pop them face down on this is one of my blocks. Just rub it with something, you know, if you haven't got an embossing tool, look at me, this is the end of my paper piercer. Okay, and then we just can add that on using whatever glue I happen to find. Pop that out of the way, there we go. So there goes our leaf. Pop a dimensional in the back, and I've just used one in the back here and added my flower, one in the middle of the next layer like so, and that just gives it a bit of, you know, a bit of shape and makes it a more realistic shape as well. And all that's left to do is to grab a scrap of Whisper White for our sentiment. And again, I've just got a piece here. Grab my sentiment and let's grab some Floaty Flamingo ink, which of course isn't to hand. Yes it is, there we go. And I'm just going to stamp that just down at the bottom here, just to minimise the amount of cutting I need to do. Happy spring, happy Easter, happy spring, happy everything, which I thought was rather nice. And I'm just going to, you could obviously do this with your trimmer, but it's quite a nice straight sentiment. So I've just free cut that, and at the end, again, just free cut a little flag, like so. Trim that end perhaps a little bit more, and then add a dimensional or two onto the back there, and then all that remains is to add your treats, add your sentiment like so, and then if you've got a little clip, that's perfect just to teeny tiny, so teeny tiny I can't actually get it on. Okay, there we go, and there we have a pair of treat boxes for some mini eggs or whatever else you decide to gift. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon, and if you'd like to purchase any of the products you've seen today, pop along to my blog at flutterbyheidi.co.uk up here, or pop along to my Stampin' Up shop direct, heidismith.stampinup.net, for the links to the shop. Thanks for watching. Bye now.